Ryan Porteous is heading on his way out of Easter Road, but according to Lee Johnson, it will not be until the end of the season. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, here bringing you all the latest transfer news in Scotland. To be honest, there hasn't been that much. I'm kind of disappointed with the activity in the window so far, but hopefully we can get a few deals done and dusted over the next couple of days. But one of those deals will not be Ryan Porteous. Lee Johnson has said that yes, Ryan will leave the club in this window, but he will not leave the club until the end of the season, and he fully expects him to be available for the Scottish Cup Edinburgh Derby next week against Hearts. So yeah, Ryan Porteous looks like he's going to be leaving, but he won't be leaving just yet. And if Hibs, it makes sense. I mean, Hibs probably want to get every last minute out of Ryan Porteous that they can, and it's not like his value is going to go down. If they sell him like mid-January or late January, that's not going to do anything for that. You could argue that if he has a couple of good performances, they could maybe even get a wee bit more for Ryan Porteous.
It just seems a bit sad and desperate, though. They're like making it, this guy's the god, the Rock. We need him.
We can't afford to lose him before the Hearts game, even though
he played in the last one. He didn't actually play in the last one, but he's pish.
Even though we haven't beat Hearts in 8 games, and Ryan Porteous has probably played in most of them. So, but yeah, no, Ryan Porteous, I think he's a good player. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more. There's been lots of rumours, but I'm surprised there hasn't been more concrete offers. And I am surprised that neither Old Firm club have looked at him. At the moment, Udinese, Toulouse and Bologna are the 3 teams that are chasing Ryan Porteous. To me, I think a move to Serie A probably makes a lot of sense. But we'll look at a lot of Scottish players have went to Serie A over the past few seasons. They've all done well. I mean, Aaron Hickey now finds himself playing in the Premier League, and I'm not saying Ryan Porteous has, that same ability, but just based on previous moves that we've seen in the last couple of seasons, that it does look like the Scottish Premiership to Serie A is a good move. Of course, you need to back it up when you go there. You can't just get the move and then be shit. That won't work for you. But as Hickey has shown, as Doidge and Ferguson are currently, Doidge is always getting great reviews. People are ranting about him. I mean, Lewis Ferguson was touted for an AC Milan move last week. So
also, Doidge linked with a mega move to Juventus. So
it just shows you that, Scotland should be qualifying. That's what it shows you. Scotland should be qualifying for major tournaments. Get Steve Clark.
And all 3 of them get nowhere near the team.
Get Steve Clark out, man. Right? I mean, we've got anyway. But that's a different video for a different day. But I mean, we've got so much talent at the moment. And it's crazy. You look at Doidge, you look at Ferguson. I'm not too sure about Hickey, but I think these are players that Rangers and Celtic should have been looking to get.
Yep, but they didn't.
But they'll let John McGinn.
That's the worst one.
These are players that Lewis Ferguson wouldn't even have cost the Rangers that much, but he's not good enough for us. But he's good enough to fucking tear things up with Bologna and get interest off AC Milan. I mean, come on. So Ryan Porteous, again, I think Celtic and Rangers should be interested in him. But speaking of Celtic, apparently they have no interest in him. They think that their defensive depth is good enough. And they are actually looking to loan or even sell one of their players out, and that player is Stephen Welsh. What's your thoughts on Stephen Welsh?
He's an alright wee squad player for Celtic, but at the end of the day, I think they'd probably be as well keeping him. I mean, they've Montgomery on loan.
Yeah, Montgomery.
Scales.
They do, but they do have Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Jens on loan at the club, and they do have the incoming Kobayashi. Now, that's the reason for not really being interested in Porteous. I would actually go as far as saying that I don't know Kobayashi, haven't seen him play, impossible for me to judge that. I'd put Porteous above Jens and Starfelt. I'd certainly put him above Welsh.
Yeah, so why wouldn't he go for them? So
I'm not really buying that.
As bad as people can say, he is a bomb square, Porteous, so Starfelt.
Exactly. I think Starfelt's lucky he's playing alongside Carter Vickers. I'm not saying Starfelt's horrible, but I just Celtic seem to rate Starfelt.
Actually, Starfelt is the 4th most paid player at Celtic. He's on 19 grand a week.
Certainly, I wouldn't say he's the 4th best player. That is for sure. But while we're speaking of Celtic, let's talk about Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor has came out the last few days speaking about VAR, and he said that Celtic need to get some decisions their way before the end of the season if they want to level things out. So I thought that was controversial there, Cal McGregor coming out and suggesting that VAR should perhaps give Celtic some favourable decisions to make up for the bad decisions that they've had. And while I totally understand, I totally get it, I do think if you look at all the teams since VAR came in, I would say Celtic have had the most wrong decisions go against them.
Yeah.
But it is weird for a player to come out and suggest that they should maybe get good decisions for the rest of the season. I thought that was weird there.
Yeah, he hasn't come out and said, hopefully it evens out. He's literally said it needs to even out.
He says for it to even out, we need to get at least a couple of good decisions at the end. I thought that was weird because you could argue that's putting pressure. You could argue that's saying to the Scottish officials, they're trying to make them, look, you owe us a couple of good decisions. I'm not saying he should get fined or anything like that, but I thought it was weird that he came out and said that. I think if Robbie Nielsen said that, he'd be looking at a fine.
Fuck, if Michael Beale came out and said that, man, he'd have got a 10-game ban.
Anyway, let's speak of 10-game bans.
You need strong referees in the VAR room.
Any thoughts on Kyle Lafferty? Apparently, Derek McKinn said he is itching. He is jumping at the bit to be involved in the Scottish Cup, the League Cup, Premier Sports Cup semi-final this weekend, and he said that he was doing star jumps outside his office. So
I don't really give a rat's ass about Kyle Lafferty, so I hope he knocks him out, but I don't think he's going to do that. So,
what's your thoughts on Kyle Lafferty doing the star jumps?
Well, I can't do any, so he's doing better ones than me. But is that all we're going to say about him?
Well, fair enough. Kyle, I'm surprised the guy's still playing top level. I think he's done.
He's fucking pish.
I think
him saying that's the most relevant thing he's done in years.
True. Jim Goodwin has come out and said that he needs to add some more reinforcements to his team. He said the following, and I quote, "The window is open for a few weeks yet, so we'll continue to keep our eyes on what becomes available. Our head of recruitment and our scouts are working tirelessly behind the scenes, but the January window isn't one when I like to do too much in terms of volume. I wanted to sign 2 or 3 bits of quality, and we've done that with Shinnie and Patrick Miofsky from MSK Salina." End of quote. So, what's your thoughts on? I didn't even know they signed a guy called Patrick Miofsky, but thoughts on
him? I thought they already had a guy called that. But Graham Shinnie, I thought at the time it was an alright signing, but it is just kind of backwards, isn't it? It's signing Shinnie a few years after he left you on a 6-month loan. That's just putting a plaster over a massive fucking injury.
Possibly. Goodwin, he hasn't had many good wins lately, but Goodwin also then went on to say about Aberdeen they could possibly do with another defender in case anything happens to Anthony Stewart and Liam Scales, but there's no point bringing in just one for the sake of it. Whoever he brings in would need to be good enough to handle this level of expectations that we have. Let's speak of Aberdeen expectations. They're pretty low at the moment. I think Anthony Stewart I think he's a horrible player. And I know Jim Goodwin's brought him in. He got a lot of faith and trust in him. He's made him captain. And he was captain before he even played a game for Aberdeen. I don't rate the guy. I think he's garbage.
That's very weird, though, that he's made him captain.
Now, maybe he's got good leadership skills. I don't know. But he's certainly not got good defensive skills, in my opinion.
I don't see why the captain wasn't like a Johnny Hayes. Guy who's old, been at Aberdeen a lot.
Maybe he's just not first team quality anymore.
McCrory? I know, but captains don't necessarily need to be in the team every week.
I think they do.
Well, this guy should be in the team every week. He's pissed.
No, I get that, but I think I do think the captain needs to be part of the starting 11. I don't think it really works.
What about Ramadani?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And finally, James Tavernier has said that Rangers is a great place for English players to come and flourish. And that if any English players are interested in joining Rangers, and if the board...
Get me up, son!
And that if the board want him to speak to them, he is more than happy to do so. He said, and I quote, "I think it should be an attractive place for players coming from England. We made a European final last year. This is the place where you can win trophies, and you won't get many players like this with the fans and the atmosphere we get. Obviously, it was a disappointing Champions League campaign, but we want to get Champions League football again, and hopefully we can get it on a regular basis." End of quote. So,
I see where he's coming from, right? But it's almost like It's like an outdated quote. When he's saying English players, like he means like the championship level English players. You know, the lower tier in the Premier League. You're not going to get your Gascoignes. The money's just no in it.
Yeah, the days of Rangers getting.
I wish I was wrong, but I'm not wrong.
The days of Rangers or Celtic being able to sign an English player that's part of the England national team is gone.
The guy's reading some on Twitter earlier. Larsson in his last, and this has got nothing to do with an English player, but Larsson in his last year at Celtic was among the highest earners across Britain.
That would just never happen. That's not even possible. That
just can't fucking. I mean, Cal McGregor's on what, 32 grand a week?
He wouldn't. I don't even think Cal McGregor would be in the top in Britain. He's probably not in the top. What, 200?
Fuck, easily.
250?
500, I'd say.
You know, it's actually crazy. Well, you look at all the top teams. If you look at the top six, like they'll not have a player
under 100k.
Yeah,
maybe the odd one that's on 90 or something, but.
No, but they won't have anyone on less than 32,000.
No.
If they're in the first team or anywhere near the first team.
No.
So, and you'll get championship football. I'd imagine a lot of championship clubs, their best players will be on more than 32 grand.
Especially ones that get relegated.
So you just can't compete. So if Tavernier wants to bring English players to Rangers, unfortunately he's going to have to settle for duds that haven't done anything in years, like Todd Cantwell. That's the kind of...
The only way you're going to get these star quality players if you get like a Ramsey situation where he's on big bucks, the team's going to pay it, and he's got like 6 months left. That's the only way you're going to get it. You know?
Yep.
Like if Harry Kane has got 6 months left with Tottenham and he's like, I can't win a trophy with these shite bastards, so I'm going to go to one of the Old Firm and win a Scottish Cup.
Imagine that what Harry Kane career come to. He gets to like 38 and he still won nothing apart from that Hyundai Cup or whatever it was. And then
Hyundai Motors Cup.
He has to make a last-ditch transfer in the last 6 months of his career to the Old Firm.
And Rangers die again, fuck's sake. What are you doing, Harry? Come on.
Kane dies.
Fuck, go to Celtic, let them die.
But yeah, the Tavernier, he also went on to mention Joe Aribo and Calvin Ramsey as, basic evidence that you can come to Rangers and, attract bigger moves, even though none of them are English, so I thought it was a bit weird that he would mention those two. But no, I mean, I get his point. I think Scottish football is a good place to come if you want to try and earn a move to a bigger club. But we'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully in future years it will not be a stepping stone, though.
I think Rangers would settle for signing in. I don't think they need to be English. I think Rangers just need signings.
Yeah.
English, Scottish, fucking Japanese.
Fucking Russian, come on, geese them.
Go that far.
North Korean.
Mother Russia. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hopefully tomorrow or even later tonight with some more transfer news. And if there's any, we'll bring it to you here on Fog Pepper. But that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. If you're English, go give Tavernier a phone. Maybe you can get your job at Rangers. But until then...
Police Service of England.